Laconic messages of love. You'd sung the Kyrie at 9 a.m. every Sunday morning for the past 40 years. You'd sung this hymn, one that asked God and Jesus for mercy, well over 200 times. It had lost meaning for you. This time, during this Mass, you want the words to mean something, not because it was Thanksgiving Mass and they should mean something, not because hundreds of people are expected to attend, but because this would be the very last time you would sing the Kyrie with this choir. The choir robe you wore was uncomfortable. The long draping black garments was made of some kind of synthetic fabric. Your body heat rose under the robe, forcing you to fan yourself with the missalette whenever you could. You had lifted a robe above your knees, letting cool air right off your crotch. The worst thing about sitting up in the choir loft was that all the heat rose to where you were. Underneath your robe, you worried that the heat would dull the creases you meticulously ironed into your pant legs. You would feel the sweat staining your shirt, and you dreamed of services ending soon so you can discard the robe forever. You squeezed rosaries in your hand, enjoying the crunching sound they made. You enjoyed reciting the prayers of the rosary. You felt comfortable praying to Blessed Virgin Mary, not because the church recognized her as the Queen of Heaven, not because she watched her only son die, but you felt a woman in the Catholic Church would better understand you. Indeed, most of your friends were women, had always been women. You were quite good at reciting the prayers of the Rosary, which included 53 Hail Marys, 6 Our Fathers, 6 Glory Bees, and the Apostles' Creed. The entire process lasted 40 minutes. You were proud of the fact that you could do it all under 5. In one breath, you could squeeze out 3 Hail Marys. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now at the hour of our death. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now at the hour of our death. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now at the hour of our death. Your family wanted you to enter the seminary. They somehow knew you would never marry. Priesthood was the only logical choice. The priesthood was an occupation every good Catholic boy had considered at one point or another. But earlier this year, when you experienced the pleasures of the flesh by being kissed for the first time, you knew the priesthood was not for you. It was that kiss that made you decide to leave the choir. It was that kiss that helped you see God. You had always been an admirer of great Catholics. You were familiar with the lives of many saints. But it was the modern Catholics you most followed. You clipped out stories from People magazine of Corazon Aquino. You still grieved the death of Mother Teresa. And you kept a picture of Pope John Paul on your bedroom wall. You were very happy to hear of Pope John Paul acknowledging gays in the church. It was okay to be homosexual, but it was a sin to engage in homosexual acts. So when you went to the gay bars, as long as you didn't dance with a man, you wouldn't be sinning. Frankly, as much as you wanted to, you never danced at all. You had been doing this since you had turned 21, being gay, going to gay places, but careful not to engage in any gay behavior. You made it a point to dress and behave masculinely. You kept your hair conservatively short. And no matter how lonely you felt, no matter how your heart ached for companionship, you never touched another man unless it was a handshake. Until a stranger bumped into you in a bar in West Hollywood. It was dark, and the stranger mistook you for someone else. The stranger uttered someone's name and gave you a hug. Your body recoiled into itself, and you made a quick mental prayer, noting that you are not hugging this man back. God, please know this is not a homosexual act. The stranger's hug was odd. It was not sexual, nor was it friendly. It was simply polite, barely touching, but you were aware of the fact that you were being entirely enveloped. The stranger pulled away, and a strobe light had fixed itself onto your face, blinding you. You squinted trying to see, but the strobe light was harsh. You were able to only see when the stranger tilted his head to the left, intercepting the fierce white light. As you blinked, trying to regain your vision, the strobe light had created a curious glow behind the stranger's head. You said, "You have the wrong person. I don't know you," the stranger said. "Maybe someday you will." You had heard many pickup lines before, and what this man said would have been one of those lines if it weren't for the way he said it. There wasn't a hint of seduction, a note of sexual foreplay in this line. The stranger's voice was smooth. If velvet had a sound, this would certainly be it. The stranger lifted your hand. You saw your hand disappear into the blackness of his silhouette. You felt the stranger's lips rest on the knuckle connecting to the forefinger, a gentle kiss, rather motherly, the kind you'd give to a sleeping baby. In a kiss, in a club, with cigarette smoke rolling past like blue waves, music blaring, songs spewing laconic messages of love, people dancing to a confined claustrophobic space, you felt the presence of God. An overwhelming sense of calmness, a kind of relief, the perception that you would never be hurt, and the belief that you would always be protected. For the first time in your life, you understood the meaning of the word free. As quickly as it came, the kiss was over, the moment was gone, and so was the stranger, departing, disappearing into bobbing heads, marching along to the beat of the music. The following week, you announced to your choir members that you would be leaving the choir. They threw you a small party. When one of the choir members asked you why you were leaving, you simply said it was time to move on. You didn't say what you truly felt. You didn't say that you had met God, not in a church with an emaciated man on a cross, not in a hymn centuries old, but in a smoky club where the men danced with each other. For this very last time, sitting in the choir loft, you sang the Kyrie, which had all of 3 lines. Kyrie Translation: Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. In the fleeting moments of Mass, you knew mercy had been granted. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me back a second time. Thank you. Yeah. heard the High Five for the very first time here, now is the title of my collection of short stories. The book party is on September 16th. You're all invited at Skylight Books in Los Feliz. We're going to have so much food. We're going to have chicken from Jollibee. We're going to have vegan food from Hi-Fi Kitchen, so it's going to be lit. So I have invites in my bag, so make sure you see me. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.